fundamentally, you know, for Canadians who are concerned about undue American influence on Canada, the best possible rejoinder would be to make Canada a place so welcome to entrepreneurs that the U.S. would pale in comparison. That's a tall order because the Americans are deeply entrepreneurial and have a very business-friendly society, right? Like at every level, right? They reward entrepreneurial activity. Okay,
so I want to see that we you know, for the first 14 years of this century, Canada had more American investment than America had Canadian investment. So in other words, we were winning the tug of war of capitalism with the greatest capitalist economy the world has ever seen. And then from 2015 to present, there's been a net outflow of $500 billion measured in USD from Canada to the US. It's astonishing.
Since when?
In the last 10 years.
$500 billion.
$500 billion, and that's in American dollars. So that's 700-ish billion in Canadian. Which is the equivalent of about a quarter of our economy has just left. Right, it's Canadian investment. I mean, the government admits it. The pension funds are now investing in the States. Canadian pension funds, Canadian RRSPs, they're all invested because that's where you get the best return right now. I want to bring that back.
Right, so that's like $40,000 per Canadian, something like that.
That's right. So why don't we can bring that back?
$20,000 per Canadian, $80,000 per family.
But let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's make this the best place to get a return on your investment. Let's make this the best place in the world to do business, to bring hundreds of billions of dollars of investment, to dig mines, build pipelines, business centers, new tech companies, drill high-tech enterprises that you not only invent here, but you actually keep here because it's not just a great place to lose money, but a great place to make money. That is the bright, optimistic future I see. I'm looking at models for this. You look at Ireland. Ireland, my grandfather came from Ireland, about half a century ago because Ireland was too poor. Well, now Ireland's per capita GDP is twice Canada's. They're now $100,000 per capita GDP. In Canada, it's $50,000. So what did the Irish do? They cut taxes. They shrunk government. Government is only 23% of the economy, 40% here.
Right.
And so
they made it tech-friendly.
Made it very tech-friendly. So like 70% of the American, 75% of the Irish economy, is free enterprise. And that's why they're just cooking with gas. Look at Singapore, Switzerland. There are countless, Israel after the 90s becoming a startup nation. The recipe book is already written. We know what to do. Unleash free enterprise, remove the constraints, cut taxes, and allow people to prosper.
Yeah, well, I've heard great things about the tech graduates from the University of Waterloo.
They're phenomenal.
People the people I know in Silicon Valley. Yeah.
They're our biggest export right now.
Yeah, well, they feel that they're the equivalent, at least, of the graduates of the Indian Institute of Technology. And I mean, the Indians have had a massive influence in Silicon Valley. And so Canadians, well, that's only one place where Canadians are not making nearly the use of their resources that they could. That's on the human resource front with regard to engineers.
Well, you think you graduate from Waterloo and you can pay 53% tax in Canada or 18 or 19 in Texas. You can pay $1.5 million for an average house in Canada, or you can buy a castle for $400,000 in the States. You can make Canadian dollars, which is 69-cent equivalent of the US dollar, or you can make an American dollar. It's unfortunately, the pull is very hard, but why don't we get us pulling in the other direction? Why don't we make this the most attractive place for these brilliant minds to come out of these schools and build it here and keep it here? And I think we can do that.
Okay, so what are you going to do when you take office? Like, what does that look like practically? So what could Canadians watch you do in the first months of your administration that would help reassure them that this is going to happen?
This is real. Well, first of all, I'm going to axe the carbon tax. It's been kind of an epic commitment that I've made. It's iconic. And so I have to follow through on it immediately. And that will signal to the country that I'm serious. Second, we want to get rid of the GST on new homes and pass changes that aggressively incentivize municipalities to get the building started.